Hi, and welcome to episode 30, or episode 35, I believe we're on.
35? Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I think I might have mistitled the stream, but that's okay. It's episode 35.
537.
It's okay, the phone notification still comes up as the first episode, so that's alright.
That's funny.
Wait, does it? That's hilarious.
Anyways, we are currently dealing with the aftermath of what happened last episode. Somebody please give us a short recap of what had occurred. Thank you.
Rook did an oopsie and talked to Morgana as he's contemplating to Kermit's suicide. Fraz, you missed this, Jive. Fraz made the biggest brain move of all time, where he dragged Palmithus up into a tree and said, you need to be me, so remember you're homeless, you want to fuck the goat man, and that's about it. And you need to wear the skin. Then they tricked us, because Fraz is so smart, and also everyone got their ass beat by the orc mommy at the gate, and now we're at Dabs' bitch's house. That's the recap, boys. That's all that happened. Or most of it, at least.
This is one of the worst recaps I've ever heard in my life.
He said do a quick recaps.
It's fine. We're good.
City. We're in house now.
Eating.
That one was worse. You should have just stayed with what you had.
I don't give a fuck.
Anyway, Sudius has prepared a beautiful elven dinner. All around you are plates wafting up with exotic Middle Eastern spices.
See, eating.
Tien. As you have falafel in front of you, along with many other vegetarian dishes, fattoush, saffron, ice cream, and other dishes that are impossible farther down the mountains as well, including several frozen treats and refined sugars, candied poppies, and a bowl, a drink mixed of morphine and Tianese fire wine.
Yeah, we got morphine.
Yeah, we're getting high.
A morphine drink? Oh fuck, we're getting slammed.
I think based on my reactions to Tierney's fire wine thus far, Damp has been eyeing it warily and hasn't drank any.
Gilrick's chugging it down.
Morgana ain't touching it.
Alma's just trying her best to identify what she's eating. She will routinely ask this lovely lady next to her what this is, and just hold up a random part of the meal.
A lot of it's stuff that you would recognize. Most of this is traditional Tianese food. The big ones would probably be the ice cream. You have never seen this in your life.
It's melting. What am I supposed to do? Is this butter?
You need to eat it or cast a spell on it so that it stays cold.
Yo, Omar, the ship busting for real. You see Gilrick has his face covered at the end of the room.
I don't know what you just said, but this thing is melting. How do I make it stop? I don't have that spell.
Eat it.
I can be of I promise I can be of assistance. Escorial comes over and his hands nervously shaking as they always are. He casts an ice spell which shoots off into the corner, freezing the curtain before he says, let me try again. This time he successfully hits your bowl as it turns solid as a rock. There you go. He gives you a bright smile.
Yep, I reach in with a spoon and just start being loud and annoying, but as I start trying to figure out what the fucking ice cream is.
As you taste it, it tastes somewhat akin to sweetened cream mixed with saffron. The taste of the smooth crocus anthers along with the buttery cream is delicious to behold. It is topped with bits of pistachio and rose water.
Mmm. This is supposed to be so sweet? This is really sweet.
It's a candy.
Vaness kind of tilts her head towards you. I believe so. Farron, you can see Farron's ice cream is just melting as he just licks it up out of the bowl because the fire on his beard causes it just... He just gives a thumbs up.
I'm intrigued. How do you make something that, like, and she'll ask for like every little detail about ice cream, making notes so that you can surprise so that she can surprise her wife when she returns.
Yeah, she begins to explain how they use the mountain snows as we move over to this table where Victor is staring at you, Gilrock, and your girlfriend Veitara, who is staring back at him awkwardly.
Yo, just stuffing his face.
So, grandson.
Uh-huh.
What exactly, what are our plans here? Do you know? Do we have plans?
I don't fucking know. We're here because demon stuff. We're going... sorry. We're going to the Black Road at some point, but right now we're just kind of here. You gotta ask Farron. He said we should go here. I don't know. Yo, have you tried this? Reaches over into his plate and just takes some of his food. This shit is good. Aren't you hungry? Didn't you not eat for 5 millennia?
I am I don't really know, he says.
Here, I shove some food into his mouth. Try it.
Blinks at you as you shove food into his mouth.
Yeah.
And then he just swallows before, gently patting your hand away with a bit of annoyance, but still a grandfatherly kindness. Well, that's very delicious, yes. Tastes the fried balls of... I don't know what they are, but some sort of plant. Taste vaguely of how, let's just say Rocky Mountain oysters taste. He gives a small smirk to himself.
Uh-huh. For sure did.
Dusk trying to stop himself from talking about balls speedrun any percent.
Very, very nice, Gramps. What about you, Veitar? You like the food?
Yeah, I think it's good. Something's putting me on edge, though. I feel a bit weird.
I don't know. Is it the Orbweaver's daughter points to her? Is it points to Dad, Granddad, the Archfey?
Why would I be putting anyone on edge? I'm not going to kill her.
No, but she did see you burn an entire encampment to the ground in the span of 2 seconds, so it's reasonable respect. You're a powerful man.
Admittedly, yes, you are part of it. He puts a hand on his chest as if offended. Well, he is offended. Oh, what? I've been nothing but nice to you.
It's just the sort of potential, Granddad. I don't think she means to offend you or anything like that. It's mostly just because, when you see someone have destructive powers, you can't... And again, we did meet you yesterday. There's the
blood...
It's just kind of awareness.
The bonds of blood are thicker than any sort of time span that ever exists. I still have no idea how you lived for 5,000 years. Were you entrapped in crystal as well?
Talking about me?
Yes.
Why would I be entrapped in crystal for 5,000 years?
I have no idea.
23 years ago.
That doesn't make any sense. Because I can read your blood and you are my grandson.
Well, I'd say ask my parents, but I don't know where they are, so that's kind of difficult, I don't know. Probably some... Can you go into other dimensions?
No.
Then it's probably something from my dad's side, I guess, because I can do that, and Yeah, so maybe my mom and dad is out in some other place right now.
I can
I really
read.
couldn't tell you.
I can read auras. I can move things with my mind. I can bring about hailstorms of fire. However, you cannot do that because your other grandfather. He looks down for a moment.
Heracles?
Yeah, he was a geomancer.
Well, I mean, the aura thing, I could do that. Move things with my mind. I haven't tried it, but apparently I can. I mean, I've always been told by everyone around me that I have, like, affinity for geomancy, but I've never done it, so I might be able to, I might not. I don't know.
You literally,
Again, I haven't tried.
Avatara looks at you. You literally summoned a giant elemental at the wedding.
Yeah, but because I was given the rock, pulls out the rock. It was, it's given to me by Hyano. He probably gave me, and that's not really, didn't think that had anything to do with me.
They both look at it.
I mean, he gave one to Laren as well.
You see Victor toss the rock in his hands as he stares at it for a moment. Interesting. He slowly just passes the rock back to you. Well, I promised not to eat people. It seems like people don't want to be my friends, which is understandable for Rook. Not that I want to be his friend either.
You just gotta, let people know you without the threat of death and everything. And the potential of being burnt to a crisp. And I'm sure people will start warming up to you eventually. Just, remember what I've told you. Ask for their permission. Don't make people do something against their own wishes unless they've told you to. Just don't do stuff just because you can, kinda.
This seems so odd, all of this. Like, people used to fall over themselves to be friends with me when I was the Emperor of the Claw Peninsula.
Well, Grant, again, I mean, we're getting, to know each other, and honesty is a big thing for me. So I'm just gonna, will you allow me to be honest with you right now?
Yes.
Will that be fine with you? Okay. So, this is just an hypothetical. So I'm just gonna ask you this. Could it be people wanted to be friends and, clawed over themselves because A, you were the Emperor, and B, considering what you've told me of this time, you could inconsequentially brutally murder people without a second thought.
Well, no, I wasn't supposed to. Heracles did not want me
could.
to. I could, yes. And I often
Exactly.
did.
So, yeah, exactly. So, people probably wanted to be your friend, so that didn't happen. It might be because, they wanted to be your friends, but it might also be because they were afraid of you.
But I want people to be both. Don't you understand?
Yeah, I get that, but that's not really how it works. Look at Damp. He's not afraid of me, and we're best friends. Basically my brother.
You glance over and see Damp is currently staring into his plate, not having eaten anything.
You see Damp, who's having an existential crisis, I think. We're friends.
Damp Moss! Why aren't you eating any of the food? He literally shouts across the room.
My head snaps up when I look at him. I just glance down and just give like a half smile. No reason, just lost my train of thought for a moment and just immediately start shoveling food into my face.
Oh damn, this ice cream shit is really, really good. Could you give me the recipe at some point?
I just turn and look at Vaness and just like, is there something we have on hand?
Sudius would. You could also ask Farron. Farron will know how to make it. It's a classic for this city. Oh, I would love to share my recipes with you, Lady Morthos. Oh, this is such an honor to be greeted by, well, I mean, an ex-noble, but still, you're still a noble in another country, but still. I would
start
love to
laughing into my hand.
Did you just unleash the simp on me? Yep.
I
Not
am
expecting any of this. Her tail wag a little bit. Just like, yes, if you could write it down and hand it to me, that'd be great.
I can write down all my ice cream recipes: pistachio, passion fruit, coconut. Which ones do you want? And saffron. I could write them all down.
All of them, please. And a nice little book. Make sure the writing is legible.
Yes, of course.
Thank you, dude.
I
What
do
was
that-
your name again?
Sudius. I used to be one of Damp Moss's masters, but no longer. I am free of my ex-husband and of that life. I'm still a noble, but
You used to be in charge of Damp Moss. Was that what you're saying?
indeed.
I just give you a side eye as I'm growing small, like, ice flowers in my ice cream.
You know, that's a story for another time. But to writing, please. And thank you very much. I appreciate your effort.
Well, I will have to write it in between when I'm taking care of my son. He is still only 9 years old.
No rush, no rush. I imagine we'll be here for a while.
Yes, I don't know how long Farron plans on having you all stay at the villa, but we have prepared for at least 3 or 4 weeks worth of additional rations. Winter is coming shortly, and harvests will be increasingly difficult. Shipping up the river is always a possibility, but the waterfall makes such things more difficult than need be.
Oh, well, if it's somewhat nearby, I may be able to help out with the speed of the growth, if you know what I mean.
Druidic magic does do that. Though, don't you have enough people with Goodberry? Shouldn't food not be a problem in a place like this?
Goodberry does not give you your everyday essential vitamins and amino acids.
Literally does.
Shut
It
up.
literally says it.
How much selenium does a Goodberry have? I don't believe you.
All of it. It's magic.
I think
You
it's
should not
just
read the
something
spell.
like it gives you the same sort of nutrients.
Gives you all the nutrients
and
you need
stuff
for a
that you
day.
would from a meal. And, like it's feeds as much as normal food.
Anyway, well, that spell might be getting banned. I don't know, because, like, I want my realism.
Realism?
I
There's
mean,
nothing
instead,
realism
I mean, instead
Wait,
of
you
adding
you
it,
want realism where gods appear on a fucking whim?
Yes, there's
it's
plenty
not
of
game
realism in this world, actually, Chris, but we can
Let's
have
God
not
has
those
sorry.
allowed the infinite
yes,
food berry.
everyone, let's just say Goodberry doesn't feed as much. It's just a fucking berry, so we don't get into a whole spiel about Dust just wanting for realism. Let's not use 20 minutes of that. So
Ugh, fine.
This shit makes zero sense. But okay. There we go. So she will redact that statement because like Goodberry doesn't. She momentarily forgets that Goodberry doesn't exist.
I think
Retcon.
the way I'm gonna rule this is it will give you enough food for like one day, but you cannot just keep eating it over and over again.
Last resort, extra days worth of rations.
You'll
bet.
get constipated.
That's not what I said,
You
but
have-
anyway, we'll keep going. Elmara, please.
Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. Then she'll say, "Well, if logistics is going to be a problem, no, she'll think. Well, it's actually shouldn't be. Yeah, I don't think it's actually going to be our problem to deal with. It's just more to herself than to out loud."
No, it won't. It won't be a problem. I have plenty of money, still, and I would love to spend it on a good cause. Sandeep speaks up before he just looks over at you. Money that I'd rather see be going towards something rather than the sake of hoarding money for itself.
I lean over and give him a high five.
Gilrock will message Damp and be like, "Hey, just a thought. It's nice what Sandeep is doing, but maybe ask your gal and her dad, if they really want, criminal drug money to pay for their food. I feel like they should probably know.
I just slowly turn my head and look at you, and you just hear, "Oh yes, fuck, I forgot that's where it came from. We'll talk about it later."
Stop. Hong Hong! Just keep shoveling food into his face.
Elamar will look over to Farron and say, Farron, do you know how long we're supposed to be staying here for?
Until the winter abates slightly, or an emergency comes up that requires us to leave for the Black Road. We don't want to be...
Say a month?
I would say probably 2, depending on what is going on.
We're kind of just chilling here.
The mountain passes beyond Fort Arquette to reach the caves are going to become increasingly treacherous. And the passage below the fort was blown up in some sort of accident a few months prior. Trying to get over the mountains in the middle of winter, particularly the middle of Peril, the darkest month of the year and the month of... May Jaimar forbid his name, I think is a bad idea. Demons are the strongest in the Northern Hemisphere during this time. For it is the days when the suns are their shortest, and when the nights are the longest, when the stars are the least visible and the moons are the least bright.
So what are we going to do in the meantime, Farron?
Presumably help my brother with whatever the city needs to be cleaned up. Or try to figure out what the demons are doing.
Caleb raises his hand.
Yes.
Okay. I don't mean to be, kind of, the elephant in the room. Doesn't your brother, hate you?
My brother does have an animosity towards me.
So, I don't know. Maybe Elamar could ask. I don't know if he wants us to help. I feel like he might just take every excuse he can to throw some of us in jail. Looks at the table in front of him.
I understand.
I feel like we should stay away from him as much as possible, really.
I don't think he will be it's not an issue of us staying away from him. It's highly likely he'll seek me out. But you are correct. He has not been behaving in a way that's helpful. But this is my city as well as his. And I would like to do some good for it. He shakes his head.
I believe a good question to ask, Farron. Given a worst-case hypothetical scenario, using any political means or even possibly outside forces, what would be the worst-case scenario of what he would be able to do?
Kill everyone here who is not of noble descent.
Well, I suppose that's a good thing to keep in the back of our minds.
Gilroy slowly raises his hand.
I think a solution to this is going to be very obvious when it comes to what are we going to do with ourselves and whether we should be worried about staying here or not. I think we have access to high enough level magic so we can teleport from to and fro. Do we not?
From here to the Black Road, no. You are from... As somebody from this area, getting into the Black Road is a struggle enough. The unrepentant drow and the magic force fields there make it so that teleportation magic glitches. We could easily end up dead in an airtight cavern.
I have idea. Points to Damp. Damp, I read about this. Sorry. I just my brain fully shut out for a second. I read about this. This spell I believe you can learn, where you, like if it's you can go to a tree you've seen before or something like that. You probably
yes.
you probably saw some trees when you were down there, right?
Well, to an extent, yes.
Because that I don't know if is that I'm not the most magically inclined. Is that technically teleportation in the same way that like a teleportation circle is?
Well, since it is between two fixed trees, I suppose I can always give it a try, but I'm not sure whether it's in my scale at the moment. There is an old sapling that I planted in the cave I spent many years in. I may be able to try and reach out to it.
Yeah, I could. Looks to Elmar. Could that work? You think?
Out of character, mechanically speaking, it is a teleport. So whatever fuck you teleport shit that Dusk wants to throw will work on that spell. In character, she'll say, "That sounds like a good idea."
I've never used I've never used a pathway that it goes that far. Usually the farthest a teleportation spell can get you, unless you are a master of wayfinding magic, is up.
Laren look really smug at him saying that.
Huh?
I'm asking Chris, does Laren look real smug as he says it's only a master who can do teleportation, as he's just been doing it casually every time we meet him? So I'm asking Chris, does Laren get kind of smug?
No, he's kind of just letting him have his talk, thinking about all the times that he's like went and visited the girl that he's been sort of, seeing down in the Black Road, because she's a drow from the Black Road.
Yeah, and the timing of that still would mean that most of that probably was not teleportation, but we can get into this later.
I slowly open my eyes as the discussion is going on. Well, from reaching out around me, it seems that I would only be able to do that within about 500 or so feet. Beyond that's far beyond my scope, unfortunately.
Oh, worth a shot. Hong.
We can always go to the Magister's Academy here in the city if you wish. Seek out their advice. I mean, they're likely to just give the same thing that I am giving, but it cannot hurt.
I'm just worried about the use of our time during such things, and there are more than enough of us here to split off and accomplish multiple things at the same time.
Well, that's
time is of the
what we will do. These minor tasks will not require a demigod or 3 members of the highest ranking. It would be inane to have us all go to the same place. But overwintering here is, unless I see another way out, is kind of a necessity.
Something else we could consider is teleporting far beyond our intended destination and try approaching from a different angle. Assuming that we know the lands I'll be heading into. You seem to be encyclopedia on this knowledge. Is that a viable option?
We could. Also, the gods might get pissy, but I mean, I can, kind of go anywhere. It's a bit difficult if I haven't been there before, but if I get a really good description, I could maybe try and go alone first and then maybe come get everyone later. If that's something we could try, how I can sort of just, disappear into the floor and all that. Some of you here have tried it, but you, Elmar, is kind of new to that whole thing. Farron can attest, we've gone places.
We will all ensure that we figure out something. I just don't want anyone to get unnecessarily hurt on my watch. We have how many months left? We have approximately 23 months and 15 days left.
Chuckles. Approximately then gives out almost exact time code. I love your language. But nevertheless, we're all adults here. We all know what we're getting into. Getting harmed is going to be part of the job. We don't have to worry about that.
Harm, yes. unnecessary harm, and I appreciate and I admire your bravery. You are a very brave, and I genuinely mean this when I say this, you are very brave to have done the things you have done. Bold. But unnecessary harm to any of you would be something that would be difficult for me to live with.
Well, Elamara, I don't really know your whole background. It's just based on your look and your vibe. You seem a bit more militaristic than Farron. What do you think is the best strategy considering our small time frame? What do you think we need to get done within certain time frames to not, have the entire world die?
As you say that out loud, Vaness drops her fork because they don't know.
She was there when we. Yeah,
wait,
she
wait,
was.
wait.
She was
Okay.
at the wedding,
Oh.
so everyone here knows.
Oh, Chongla.
Apart from Chongla maybe left, but he can be shocked.
Chongla drops his fork. What? Did you just say?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
No, the world is ending.
Chongla,
Yeah.
yes, Jufor is slowly dying, and our goal is to rout the demons and stop that from happening.
Sorry, I forgot you weren't there when, the guards and the Fates showed up.
Yes, surprise, I guess.
But again, back to the matter at hand. Elamara, what do you think?
There are multiple strategies and avenues we can deploy. We have a nice variety of powerful individuals in our ranks. We need to be able to use each and every one of them to the fullest capabilities in order to win a war like this. But all that starts with intelligence. We need to know what they're going to be doing and where we possibly strike. That falls on the likes of divine help and knowledge being bestowed upon us for whatever favors they may ask. Or the likes of, just over to Farron, knowledgeable people amongst ourselves who are able to tell us things, and so that the military minds can devise strategies based on what we know. So, this land that we're supposedly have to go into, what's the whole problem with it? What's the issue? Who resides in it? What type of terrain?
Many groups reside there, but the primary group are dark elves.
The gods can't really get there.
Yes. The dark elves, but specifically this subgroup of dark elves, I should not be the one to speak about. I have never been to those cities, for obvious reasons. Damp Moss, would you like to, if you are comfortable with it, of course, share what it's like?
I just give a small nod. Well, the cities themselves are individual powerhouses. They primarily 3 of them residing at different levels. I cannot say too much about the others, but at least the city I resided in, as mentioned, most occupied by unrepentant dark elves and quite renowned in their studies of blood magic and similar veins. Unfortunately, in the years I have spent running through the backs of the caves, while I am quite versed in the secret tunnels, the current condition of the cities themselves I cannot speak on.
I know, from what I've been told at least, that sort of the main issue there, it's kind of the demons' playground, because the gods don't have as much a presence, so it's more rampant with dangerous things, and there's areas that's infested with mind flayers, I know, where in the city where Damp used to live. And other, quirky stuff like that.
Large, terrifying worms, colossal insects, a variety of different plants that can most easily kill you.
It is...
Anything worth saving?
Yes, the people, Farron says. We've brought some drow to the light already. Many drow you see around Dutadeva, this city, came from those who lived in the darkness at one point. And when I say darkness, I do not mean the caves, but the darkness of iniquity of the demons.
Converts. So chuckle. So, we have an underground system of caves. Do we know how far they go? Can we access them in areas that they possibly don't control?
The caves go down at least 5 miles. When the continent was forced up, when this subcontinent collided with the main portion that makes up Almatani, it forced up an ocean trench and a large area of limestone. The acidity of the water eventually hollowed out the central section. It goes down and is a series of tunnels that leads down several thousand, stretching the entirety of the dragon's spine.
So a long fuck while down.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
These tunnels' elevations, do they go in a 3D sense? They go up and down, or do they go left and right? She says, closing her eyes and doing hand motions to go with it. She's trying to, clearly trying to theorize something.
I have only visited the villages and towns that Tien owns at the very top of the Black Road, which are at the entrances from the mountains. They are very cold. Dammask can speak to the temperatures and the conditions it becomes as you go farther down. I would have scarcely an idea.
Well, depending on the area, as mentioned, frigid cold down to scalding heat. The occasional acid lake if you get too far down.
And also,
in terms of elevation, similar almost to an ant's nest in certain places, plateaus, but many of the paths can dip a significant distance directly downwards, or close to it.
You see Vaness grip the table as she thinks about it, and you can see a tear coming into her eye.
I just place a hand on her leg and keep talking, though I wouldn't recommend some of them if you aren't capable of surviving a few 1,000-foot fall.
I also have just one question for the people who know biology and stuff. There's mind flayers, a lot of them down there, right? Damp.
I nod.
Can't, unless I'm mistaken, can't some of them sense any presence of, points to his forehead, thoughts within like a certain distance? They can just, sense intelligence or something.
Iscorial excitedly raises his hand. Ooh, I know this. Yes, I can. Biology is my specialty.
We should probably do something about try and find a way to not let that happen.
Well, you should also be concerned about the fact that there are the vast majority of the races that live in the Black Road are psychic in some form or nature. There's also, of course, you have your deep dragons, all of the different hives of mind flayers. He seems almost excited as he begins speaking. And then he looks over to Adebin. What is Adebin's face at him?
Adebin is staring into his own plate, just kind of like picking his food from side to side. He's trying very much to be small and not unnoticeable, even though he knows a lot of the stuff we're talking about. He's just kind of sitting there like.
They also have, crazy portals to other realms and other demonic hybrids, flesh warps of the sort. Chris, can you spin the music, please?
And don't forget the massive, terrifying underground worms that spray mucus everywhere.
Vaness finally clears her throat. Alright. So, the first city, the one closest to the surface of the Black Alliance, is the one Damp and I lived in, but the other two you'll have to pass through if you want to get to the Black Heart. That's where I assume you want to go. Farron scrunches his eyebrow. How did you know that?
He's from there.
And
Georgia says he used to live down there.
Because can you put on something a bit more, angsty?
Calm little bit of guitar,
A little more angsty.
You're gonna put on Green Day?
Do you have the time?
I walk a lonely road. Anyway.
I flex my wings slightly, having definitely not just remembered that they're there.
Yeah, Vaness shakes her head and says, "That's where the hub of demonic activity is, in the Black Road, the Black Heart. Anyone who wants to see something typically stop the demons from doing something else. That's where they go, is down there, to the depth where even the most insanely devoted, pious priestess of Loth would not step foot. Where the demons literally make a playground. Where people have come back twisted and broken. Where my grandfather, after he returned, they found him babbling incoherently. Her nails dig into the mahogany board of the table.
I just gently push my hand underneath and curl my fingers around hers.
The Dark Heart is everything that's wrong with the Black. It's a direct conduit to Tartarus. And the demons show up far like the gods do on the surface, and down there, even in my city, sometimes you could see Pazuzu or Raisinsev. You should all be very afraid. And I don't say this lightly. This isn't a place to be trifled with. It's ruthless. And I miss him dearly, but can turn people into monsters, preying on their worst instinct. My father. Just don't underestimate what you're going into. She falls silent as she tightly grips your hand, Aunt Moss.
I return the grip.
We're gonna need a layout of the lands. We need to know where we're going, how to get there, and what possible avenues we could take. That it's gonna require either infiltration. Yeah, I'll look over at her at the I already forgot her name. At Dan Moss and this girl, but won't say what's on the mind. But it's clear that that she would want you guys to go into more details about that.
Mm-hmm. I turn and look, giving her a chance to relax for a second before she has to talk again.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if we are able to sketch up a map of the main roads and terrain, while I won't be able to get us around the main cities, unfortunately, I will at least be able to let us bypass many of the main roads. It may take a little longer, but at least we will avoid detection for the most part of our travel.
Studious. Oh, what? Sorry, somebody was saying something.
Gil just goes, could you try recontact that smuggler that got you guys out of here? Like, out of there the first time?
Oh, knapsack.
We could, yes, and I would be happy to do so if we can find a way to do so safely for him.
Well, if I talk to some of the rats, they may be able to lead me to finding him at least.
And this brings me to why one of the reasons I am here. The Orbweaver's daughter steps forward. Or before she says what she says, Morgana, how are you reacting to what's being said?
I'm barely touching my food, just listening to it all, if I can even hear it from this far down the room.
Yeah, you definitely can. This room is good acoustics.
It's a dinner room.
She's just keeping to herself, just wondering where the hell Farion's run off to, for one. He's just disappeared off the face of the earth. And, yeah, that's kind of it, really. She doesn't know what to make of it all. She wants to make comments, but she doesn't want to upset anyone, so she's kind of like biting her tongue and going, "Don't say it! Don't say it!"
And, well, I'm here because my mother believes that through certain activities, perhaps we can achieve multiple aims at the same time. We can probably improve some things about the city. We can also get more information about the drow. The demons aren't sleeping. Their plans constantly are turning, churning, going back and forth. And one slip up could mean disaster for all of us and for this world. I don't want to say it like this, because I understand how this pressure must feel. But the lives of 4 billion people depend on all of you.
No pressure, right?
And I want to
Yeah, no pressure.
What?
We're all fully aware of what we're committing to and what's at stake.
Good. I have a mission for you tomorrow morning. A way to get more information. My mother has sent me to be a bit of a liaison here and let Shira do her work as a gutter snipe in the sewers so that she can get information down there. And we'll be splitting up according to our needs. So I suggest you start thinking about who's most best suited to dealing with the criminal underworld and who needs to work in the high society. I already know one. Farron, you are not going with the criminals. I didn't want to. No, but I was just making things clear. It would have been a horrible idea. Now, I will go to bed. Shira. She claps her hands. Shira leaps over the table, grabbing the plate of food as she nimbly keeps it held aloft in her hand and begins following behind her. Yes, mistress. We're going to retire. See you tomorrow
Sleep well.
morning. Thank you.
Out of character. What was the mission exactly?
They didn't say.
Yeah, they haven't given it to you yet.
All
We'll
right,
have
yeah.
to figure it out.
They're gonna let you rest.
Before-
They're gonna let you rest first. They're asking you to divide yourselves according to which team you want to be part of.
We're going
Okay.
going A with
We
the
can't
crazy
decide a
Fraz
team
girl.
if we don't know what we're doing. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. before
Fraz
she
girl.
leaves.
I'll tell you this out of character. Fraz chick wants to go to criminals and talk to them. Orbweaver's daughter is going to be fancy pantsy with the royals. So we gotta divide who can fuck around with the criminals and who is better in a royal court.
We need to know what we're actually doing at each, because if the royal court is going to be the nobles planning how to do combat strategies, some people will be better there, but also people who know how to fight could also go down to the criminal land. So we need to know exactly what we're doing. Like, what are we trying to accomplish with each? Which is exactly what Elmar is going to ask before that bitch leaves.
All right. Well, so
Let's do
she's
that.
standing at the door.
Yeah. And in order to distribute ourselves accordingly, we need to know exactly what we're going to be doing at each. You said you know what needs to get done. Please elaborate so we can make the best decisions and put the best people in the best places to do the best things.
Well, there's multiple things, presuming that you're going to be here for 3 weeks at least. But tomorrow there is an event being held by Rashvari, an archery contest and chivalrous sort of competition, followed by some sort of afternoon competition at the local library. As for the other, there's been a huge amount of underground drugs that have been brought in from the Claw Peninsula to the city via the Black Road. The drugs are primarily consisting of coca leaves and of more toxic exotic substances that are illegal within Tien. They're mixing them with opium and they're going to sell them to the homeless on the streets. Intercepting them and getting rid of them in some sort of way would be good for both us and for them. Because they're just simply going to overuse them. And I know one person here who would very much like to see their former legacy be done away with. You see Sandeep tense a bit.
I turn and look at him and just smile and say, "Well, Sandeep, up for a little bit of role-playing your old life?"
If that is what's required, yes. Now, the big thorn in my side currently, and the one I don't know what to do with, is him. Victor points a clawed finger at himself. Me? I can do all sorts of things. I can read people's minds. I can light things on fire. I'm immensely intelligent.
You kind of stick out like a sore thumb.
That's the problem.
You're not very easy to slip by anything or go unnoticed. Your presence is very much, there.
And apologies in advance, my lord. Gilrock, please ensure he does not do anything rash. You run your mouth like faster than a boat powered by magic.
That's true.
You have zero filter whatsoever. I can have a filter. You don't know what I'm capable of.
Tap him on the shoulder, Granddad. It's fine. You'll learn. But for this one, I think you should just, maybe, I don't know, hang with Vaness. She could probably, teach you some stuff, or, I don't know.
I shoot you a look.
I give you a look that clearly says, "Bro, I've said I can't kill anyone. It'll be fine."
I just roll my eyes.
We need to figure out exactly what he'll be doing, because I don't want his powers to go to waste, but as a spy, he's basically useless. 5,000 years alone with his own thoughts have made him less Fae-like than I would have expected. I can still do disguises. Watch this. He turns into you, Gilrock. See? Twinning. We're twinning now.
Oh,
I would,
God.
but then again, Pops, remember, I don't speak like that, so that wouldn't really, And again, it'd be kind of weird if suddenly, the singer from Chainsmokers was just walking around town. It's a little, it does attract some attention. I'm gonna have to make myself look different if I'm going anywhere.
Yes,
Not every piece of the puzzle needs to be used all at once.
I know.
In fact, it's best for various pieces to take rests and to perhaps do other tests while other components are being used. Besides, someone needs to hold on to this place and make sure it's not infiltrated by our enemy. Or, looks at Farron, by the brother.
Well, I kinda need to train my stick, so I guess me and Pops could just kind of stay behind, watch the place, and I can do that while all of y'all do the other stuff.
Gilrock.
I do also need to spend a few days to make a few adjustments to myself and my magic, just flexing the metal arm in the air.
You can do that later. Tomorrow I'm going to need you. You'll blend right in with the criminals.
I just shoot finger guns. Wonderful.
Alright, tomorrow Saga will guard the house. She seems best suited for that. And then we'll figure out some more tomorrow morning. Discuss amongst yourselves. Is there anything, any other information you need from me, Elmara, or may I return to my boudoir?
The criminals. I'm assuming you don't care how they're disposed of.
No, but preferably the least amount of noise that you can make, the better. Nobody's going to care if a couple grunts, maybe a few higher-ranking people disappear, such is the nature of a dangerous line of work.
And the main objective for the, quote-unquote, high-class assignments.
Ornament.
Make at least one of you liked by the Emir. somewhat. You don't have to put Farron down to do it. In fact, that would be better if you don't. But get someone in a bit of a good grace. Or get in the good graces of his advisors. We want more information. Particularly about what happened at Fort Arquette 4 months ago. Something that I don't have access to, even.
Alright. Good night.
Good night.
I'll give her a play head nod and turn back to the tables. Alright, I guess I'll volunteer for the high class one. Any objections?
Nah, if it's like, can you shoot a bow? I guess I gotta ask. Because you did mention an archery competition.
That's because you're at archery competition doesn't mean that you have to be a world-class shooter. Unless that's like something that's typical in this section of TN.
Oh, fair enough.
No. You would not necessarily have to shoot a bow, but my brother would probably be impressed if one of us can win the archery competition. Ty slams his beer down on his table and goes, I can do it. Cracks his knuckles.
I glance towards Elmara, and you immediately hear in your head, the one thing you need to do is make sure Ty goes nowhere near Nobleman. He is, shall I just say, prone to saying literally whatever he thinks of in the moment. It doesn't work very well sometimes.
She knows who Ty is. She's pretty aware of it.
Yep. Yeah, she'll say, judging how our first interaction went, me being a noble, let's choose someone else.
But I can shoot a bow better than almost anyone here.
Ty, every single time you have spoken to a noble, you've made them angry enough to try and kill you. I think it may just not be the best idea this time.
Beja didn't try to kill me.
I, just glance away slightly, just
Well, I mean, I can help. Again, I can stay and train. But because I do need to do that eventually. But I can do kind of both things. I know a lot about drugs, and I can lie very well. And if I'm at the tourney, I can help anyone who's trying to, I don't know, make an impression.
Tomorrow, I thought you and I were going to train your psychic abilities. Victor says as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, but if we're staying there for 3 weeks and this tourney is just this one day, I could probably join in on that and say, you, Elamar, if you're shooting the bow, I could help you do better and someone else do worse. And it's not really noticeable.
Well,
I don't think cheating at the actual competition is going to be very necessary. As long as we have a shooter and I'll play as their sponsor, I think that's a good enough setup for us to get into the ears of who we need to get into.
Ooh. Adebin could do it. He can make a machine. He's very good. Adebin, tell them. Adebin. He smiles as he begins tapping his brother's shoulder enthusiastically.
Nevin is not saying anything.
He begins shaking you if you don't say anything.
Just meekly looks up. I can't really make anything by tomorrow.
Oh, come on, don't talk like that. You can totally do it. I've seen him make things in one day.
Bag will instead raise his hand and be like, I can shoot a gun. It's probably the same.
No, it isn't, Farron says with malice at that statement.
I've shot a bow before. It's
Good.
not that hard. You just kind of aim and, loose. I will need a chair, though, if it's, normal person bow. It doesn't really work for me. You can see Bagel's head at the table because he's tiny.
Is Laren saying anything?
No.
Christopher.
No, Laren is not saying anything. He was talking to the Orbweaver's daughter, but she is gone. So he's just kind of listening in on the conversation and is kind of... I think he's kind of judging Farron a little bit without saying much.
Why? What did he do?
That is Laren's own reasons, and I will not tell you them.
Yeah, I'll say very well. Just as over to the tiny man. I will be sponsoring you for the event. Farron, where do we go to sign up?
I will go tomorrow. It will be at the palace.
Get a thumbs up.
Okay. Well, that's all right. So that's us two taken care of. What are the others?
Aaron's got to be there. He's, because royalty and all that. Damp, you have a way of having royals like you. Beza kind of adopted you right away.
I just limply point at the door at the end of the hall. Well, unfortunately, the Orbweaver's little one has picked me out for the criminals, so I'll be taking my time this evening to brush up slightly.
We'll go
With some of the stuff that I've heard about you, Damp Moss, I think you'd fit right in. Laren looks at you with a small smile.
I give you the same small smile and just like a really sarcastic wink.
Are you coming on to me? Is that it?
There is a much more real reaction to that, just like a quick moment of panic glance. No.
I mean, I knew you were so forward, but I mean, if you
just
insist.
start picking the ice flowers out of my ice cream.
Now let's
Sorry, do you want to dance now? Please, let's go.
I think we should get back to the matter at hand. World ending, everything, what we're doing tomorrow, and y'all can fuck later, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Do we need more people at the Tony than just 3?
No, 2 should be sufficient, to be honest.
Well, Deben and I are in this city, so we could go unless you want us to stay here.
Devin is pleading in his face, like, please, I don't want to let me stay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I believe perhaps entering into a new noble group, it would be better for a smaller group, since a large group of new faces might cause a little bit of untrust.
Okay, but I can't go to drugs. I don't want to go there. That's scary. Plus, I'm not Mehmet, and I won't know what to say. I'll start. He begins stammering. You can see the anxiety rising in his face.
Don't worry, you don't have to come with us. Perhaps you could go as a separate group. 2 points of infiltration, maybe better than 1, if one were to fail.
No, because if people see us clobbering together, they could catch suspicion.
Indeed, that is true.
You're an adventurer, are you not? I say to one of the 2 of them, not knowing which is which.
Devin is red. Isco is blue.
Yeah. Whichever one is the adventurer, she'll adjust
That's
it
a
to.
Devin, that's what I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm.
Devin meekly raises his hand, like...
Right. While we're going into the Black Heart, we're going to encounter many obstacles, including challenges of navigation, resisting poison, acid, and various other nasties. Why don't you work with the individuals who know that area very well and develop countermeasures to these issues that we already know we'll be facing?
I get to use my research, and we get to work with Vaness. This will be fun. I can't wait to talk about all the mushroom species I know about. Have you heard about
Focus on the militaristic.
I'm more of a... My sort of... Taking a deep breath, just like in now. My sort of specialty, and well, what I can make stuff. I've made stuff, yeah, but I'm more on tattoos that I like, magic tattoos. So I could probably make some poison. That's pretty easy. But I don't. If you want a whole machine, that would probably take me a while because I'd have to part schematics. Trial and error if I'm making something that I haven't made before.
Well, that's
come up with a list of possibilities and submit them over to myself, and we'll go over what you can do during the time that we have. Our time frame right now is a little vague.
And to me,
To be
Farron
the-
says out loud, clearing his throat.
When it comes to matters of militaristic logistics, you should leave it to me.
Alright, I will lend credence to that, but we are both leading in certain respects. I am responsible for everyone's safety here.
Mm-hmm. And you could do a safety check upon the inventions when they're being designed and approved of.
Alright.
But that's what you're worried about.
I'm worried about lots of things, but we can't let that get bogged down.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Alright, I think that's putting most of the people here to good use during a time. Surprisingly productive.
Sudius begins to come around and clear everyone's plates who's finished.
Gilbert just kind of goes, Morgana, I don't know about you. Are you good with criminals and drugs or noble people?
I don't really know what I'm good with. That's the problem.
Are you able to look intimidating?
No.
No.
I can. Changla begins flexing his muscles.
Yeah, but you're also a giant snake, man. Okay. So the whole inconspicuous thing gets ruined again. I mean, Morgana, you hung around with people who ate people before. You've seen some fucked up shit. Some drug dealers probably should be no issue. Right? Because I figured also being with your background, I don't know if we should bring that to the royals, per se.
I mean, I'll go wherever you guys want to put me. If you feel I'd be better on the drug stuff, then put me on that team.
I glance around at the silence and just say, welcome to the group then.
Yeah, let's go.
Yay.
So it is settled.
But actually, for real though, where did Farion go?
Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna cut to
Where
them in
is
a
he?
minute.
Where did he
He's just sort of
go?
disappeared.
We're gonna get to them in a minute. Yeah, speaking of, where is Rook either? He didn't come for dinner.
Oh, that's right.
I know where he is. I just don't know where Ferrion was. One minute he was sat next to me, the next minute he's buggered off.
Alright. Well, we cut back in time to over
Probably
here.
should have done this first.
Rook, it's you.
Sometimes
I know.
you want to mix things
I
up.
was just taking a yawn. Excuse me. Sorry.
Boring.
No, I'm not used to starting this late, so I'm trying to keep the energy up. Yeah, I think just having a bit of a panic moment after realizing that he's just like talked out loud. I think I just kind of look at my hands, just sort of in my mind going, do I kill her? Do I kill myself? And then he just sort of like unconsciously, he just like puts his hands together and sort of begins praying. And starts just like, quietly mumbling a prayer out. And he's going to say, Savati, I ask for your guidance. I have followed your tenets at the best of my ability, and although I do not find myself as any form of saint, I do try my best to stay in your good graces. With the transgression that I have committed, what do you wish of me?
You gotta roll.
Religion. Okay. That is not a lot. That is 12.
You hear nothing.
Sadness. Just sort of continues praying, but after a while realizes that nothing's really come through. I think he's he's actually just gonna finish like setting up the things that he was doing, and then he's gonna put like his weapon inside his tent and start brewing some coffee, which he's going to sort of sip quietly while like lifting his helm very gently, just in case someone else shows up again.
About to get bamboozled.
Yeah. Should I roll like a perception check or something to see if I discover you?
Are you trying to sneak up, or are you trying to just
No.
approach? Okay, then.
Rob was
no.
debating which angle she should approach from. The more logical one actually be this one. This angle. So yeah. No need for her perception. She's not gonna try to sneak. Kind of. You see a confused looking blonde bimbo kind of poking her head around the bushes, clearly lost.
Same
Yeah,
shit we asked for our papers.
Yeah, I think Rook is kind of like in his mind. He sort of looks at her for a second, contemplating if he should like try and get her attention, but he decides to raise his hand to sort of like wave her over.
No copyright, please.
Oh, well,
It's okay if you hum the song. That's fine.
I was mostly kidding, by the way.
Yep,
Mostly.
Ooh, this is a really nice pull. This is a really nice. Ah! She's just like, she look at you. Clearly not noticing you.
It's like full tent, smell of coffee spreading out in the area, just like a fire going as well. Yeah. How perceptive are you?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Passive is much higher than active.
Yeah, just over flat, like -3. Anyway, yeah. I think he's, I just kind of look at you. You can't really see my facial expression, but I do like the full, like, the Rock eyebrow of confusion. And then I just sort of wave again, and I sign to you, come sit down.
Yep. You're throwing gang signs at her. She doesn't know what to do.
Realizes you can't speak sign language, and just sort of, you can see that he rolls his eyes and just sort of like does a hand motion like that, come here.
Oh, yep. Sorry for going on your property here. I was looking for a moss man. You don't look like moss.
Shakes his head and sort of just like gestures towards the house, as if like trying to imply that's where Mr. Mossman is. And then like writes down on a piece of paper pretty quickly. Why are you looking for damp moss?
Holds a bunch of envelopes, bills. Put them
Just-
away.
Bills? Question mark.
You've been served.
Order mandates.
Are you investigating him for tax fraud?
That moss.
Damn mouse is not now.
Listen, if there were taxes, Damp wouldn't have known that they were there, so he would be committing tax fraud.
You haven't been paying property tax on your cave for the last 10 years. You owe like fantasy IRS 100K or some shit.
The army is the one
Yeah.
in charge of tax collection, which makes it even worse in this world.
You're gonna get
Yeah.
court-martialed.
I think after just seeing you sort of look a little confused and not really knowing where to go, I just sort of like write on a piece of paper, coffee.
Yeah, sure. Coffee is great. I love it with my dinner that I didn't eat.
Just like I walk back into the tent and I pull out like another sort of like small fold up chair and I just like place it down next to the fire and I just gesture to it and write, please sit.
Yeah. Looking at your picture closer now, do you have 4 eyes?
No, the
Check
two
them out.
top ones are painted on like ceremonial eyes.
I asked the same thing when I first.
Yeah, a lot of people have.
Rook, you notice a small green owl that you would recognize as my familiar, except her eyes look like a normal owl, so you know that I'm not looking through her or anything. She's just there.
kill that bitch. Don't kill them.
Is that a
Trying to
fucking
get you
bird?
back.
Is that a fucking bird?
It's a fucking
You mean a
bird.
spy drone?
I mean, technically she is.
Am I hearing bird slander right now?
Yeah, I think I'm actually just gonna. I think if Rook spots the, it's an owl, right?
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
They eat seeds, right? I feel like I'm
Yeah,
No.
they eat
yeah.
small rodents
They
and
eat
stuff. as well.
animals.
Yeah.
They don't eat seeds. They're carnivorous.
They're predators.
Yep.
Okay,
Predators.
I catch a mouse and I just snap the neck of it and I pull it up. For the
What is wrong with you?
She
I was
looks
gonna
at you
offer
with
a
such a
birdseed.
deep adoration and immediately flies down next to you and just looks at you like if you don't hand it straight to her, she's just like, yes.
Yeah, I just I hand over them. I was gonna offer it birdseed, but then you told me it was carnivorous, and I can't really feed it a vegetable in that case, can I? So snapped mouse. There we go. Yeah,
I'm
I
more
hand
impressed that
over-
you just casually caught a mouse.
Yeah.
Those things
It's the
aren't
Middle
easy.
Ages,
That-
they're
Yeah, you
everywhere.
do. That you do need to roll to catch the mouse, but
What do you want me to roll to see if I can snatch one?
Sleight of hand.
enough animal violence from you. I'm getting concerned.
Unarmed strike? Like I'm trying to snatch it up with my hand.
You're not trying to punch it though.
No, it would not. It would not be unarmed strike. It would be It would be dexterity or strike.
Just try and fucking smush it into the ground.
Here, Olivia, have this paste that I made.
What do you want me to do?
Okay, that's
what do you want me
enough.
to
Y'all
do?
are starting to
Here,
trigger,
look,
trigger me
Olivia,
a
I
little
made a
bit,
mouse-flavored
and
flatbread.
Genuinely enough. I'm being serious
Sorry.
now.
Just
Alright,
do a dex
what
check,
do you want to
bro.
roll? Athletics or dex check, or like what do you want?
Dexterity or athletics, you get to pick. Whatever's better.
Alright, I'll do athletics in that case. 23.
All right, you catch it. Rip.
Easy. Also,
To put it as lightly as possible, she takes and eats it.
Yeah. Did the music cut out for anyone else?
Yes.
No,
did.
it cut out for me as well, right as you
Mine's
snatch the
muted,
mouse
so I
up.
don't care.
It's what you deserve for hurting the mouse. That is going on negative piety points.
What the
She
fuck?
she did gain Olivia's trust though, and she's also an animal.
What? It's a mouse. Yeah. What?
How can you get negative PD points for killing an animal when you?
Oh wait,
a
not your
human?
god isn't the same. Wait,
Yeah.
but like
Yeah, fuck out of here, bro.
No,
Like, why the fuck would I gain like negative piety points anyway? Even if I was playing Blaine from killing a mouse.
You've eaten animals in this thing.
If I slit the throat of a random civilian, yeah, that would make sense. But like, it's a mouse. Who gives a shit?
I do.
Okay, well, okay. Anyway,
This
Hands
isn't
off.
getting us anywhere. Let's move on.
hands off mouse to Olivia and sort of just like puts a shoulder out if like Olivia wants to sit on my shoulder in that case. Like on my arm.
Swallows the rest of it and just hops up and just like sits close enough that you can feel her fur up your face.
Can't really feel anything with a metal mask around me, but I mean, yeah, I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I write down on a piece of paper as I hand you a hand poured cup of coffee. Is there something else I can help you with?
2-hand sip cup. You could see her one eye, kind of looking back and forth between your two sets of eyes, not knowing which to actually look into. The longer it goes on, the more confused she gets.
Writes down like bottom eyes and holds up the piece of paper.
Thanks. Yep. Right. So, what was your initial question again?
Is there anything else I can help you with? I write back down on the piece of paper.
Oh yeah, that. Can you deliver these to? Damn, I just hold up all the late tax collection documents.
Just puts down like a note saying, "Sure, but why can't you deliver them?"
I'm here now, and I'm gonna be honest. I got lost twice so far, and yeah, if unless you want to escort me, I guess, but that's not necessary. You look very comfortable out here alone by the pool with a tent and a campfire, despite the fact that there's a lot of structures that you could rest in.
I prefer sleeping under open sky. You just get a fucking piece of paper back that says it's not really sleeping inside is fine. I've just always sort of been an outdoorsy person.
I guess that makes sense. Looks you up, Dan. You don't look the outdoorsy type per se. That was very judgmental.
Yeah, I write down. What do you mean by that?
Well, out of character. I'm assuming you're wearing your armor, right?
Oh yeah, I'm like full dressed, head to toe.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. Well, big armor and thick plates typically aren't very comfortable to sleep in. She says, like, looking at her own half plate, which is not comfortable to sleep in. And you're wearing a helmet and all that. You look like you're ready to go to war rather than camp outside under the night sky. That's all.
I write back down. I think you've misunderstood. When everyone else is gone, I take this off, but only in situations where I know I cannot be surprised by someone else coming running. So in this case, I will be sleeping with my armor on tonight.
How do you do that?
Lots of practice and lots of back pain.
I know healing magics. If you have a broken, busted back, I can help you with that.
I appreciate it, but I already also know how to heal myself, and I use 1 point of lay on hands on myself.
Oh, she puts away the greater restoration. Oh, okay. Well, if that's what you wish. Sorry, Amina. I remember you because we met at the front gate earlier. It was papers, please.
Yeah, glory to our Stotska and everything. If you get that reference,
yes, I got the reference.
All right, good. Yes, sorry, you were asking me a question.
I forget.
Place down on paper, you said out at the gate. I did a papers, please bit.
Oh, right. What we met before, I was going to say, I'm Amina. Pleasure to meet. Hold on a hand for the shaking.
Your fake name was Ariana. That was the fake
name. Fuck. Saved everything. Rob doesn't remember shit. That was Ariana.
Suspicion. Yeah. I'm gonna pretend like Rook didn't hear that.
That was a Rob mistake. That's not a Palmithus mistake.
That's why I quickly corrected you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna pretend like I gift of gabbed myself for a second there. Ariana, write down the name Ariana. Beautiful name.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, thank you. What's your name?
Rook. I just write down, and I draw like the little chess piece, like the Rook.
Like the chess piece. Oh, you like playing chess?
I do, and then just like with a little smiley face.
You want to go game?
Do you know how to play chess?
Yes.
We shall play in that case, and I take out like a little travel set of chess.
Yep. Yeah, she'll excitedly sit across from you, crisscross applesauce. Take out. Take off the nasty looking glaive she has. Take off the beautiful bow that she has on. Take off a shield that looks like it's staring into your very soul, and then relax.
Yeah. Just sort of cracks his back as like the armor kind of jostles around, and is actually going to take one of his like massive plated gloves off and just like put it to the side, so there's just like a hand exposed, and as he sort of opens up the pieces and puts them out on the chessboard, and he gestures towards you to start, as you've been given white.
Mm-hmm.
Please be my guest. I write down on a piece of paper.
All right, do you want us to roll or just role play? Playing chess?
Role play it.
Okay, cool. Rob hasn't played chess in years, but she'll
And move piece to place.
Yeah.
she'll start playing.
Oh wait, just roll for it. Never mind, I'm dumb.
Yeah, can we do a log roll to see
Yes.
who is it?
That was me being
Okay.
stupid. I was like, of course I want you to role play like how you're
Actual chess play, yeah, for like an hour.
I didn't mean actually.
Yeah,
I
well,
was.
it's the same
I wasn't
story.
Chess game
thinking.
in stream.
I wasn't thinking.
King to d6.
My ass. I haven't played chess in such a long time.
It's a luck roll. You've equal chance to win.
I think I'm gonna say before the game starts, I'm gonna say whoever wins gets to ask the other 3 questions. Agreed? And I like write that down on a piece of paper.
Oh, I was gonna ask you questions the whole time. This is very intriguing.
You get 3 questions if you win. No more, no less. I write that down on a piece of paper.
It's your
Sad
biggest
bimbo
regret in
noises.
life.
Your mom.
Oh, damn. Rob lost. No, Rook
No, I
lost.
lost. Yeah, I lost.
Mhm.
I think as I finally lean back and say, write down on a piece of paper, say, you are much better than this than I expected.
Did music just die
Thanks.
again?
Yeah, I don't know what is with the bot.
It's the
Fucking, it's the bot.
It's the bot.
At
Alright.
least it works. None of the others have stayed consistent. So
The bot's just like, me no wanna
Mhm.
play today.
Mhm.
True. Yeah, just sort of leans back, writes down on the piece of paper. Ask your questions, and I will answer them to the best of my ability.
She'll think. Under what traditions do you abide to?
Writes down on a piece of paper. Complicated to explain. I do not follow any of the main pantheon.
She'll look at that. You know, neither do I. That's actually pretty funny.
I write down on a piece of paper. Who do you follow?
What's a complicated to explain? She says with a smirk.
Just har, just like the blank face.
Well, if you won't show me yours, I won't show you mine.
This is getting weird. I write down. Please
Yep.
continue on with your next question.
Yep, shakes head. Just okay. All right. What's your relation with the owners of this house?
Writes down. The only person I know that has ownership of this place is Dan Moss. The other ones I have no clue who is, more or less.
Yeah, thanks. Well, that answers everything she needed to know. Right, yeah. She'll write down and say, why do you enjoy being alone? She'll write this one down.
She writes this one down?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is sort of like a long questioning look from me as I sort of contemplate the question. And I write back down, sort of taking a bit more of a slow, methodical approach to the lettering, making sure it actually looks good and everything. I do not actually particularly enjoy being alone. I do very much enjoy the companionship of others. It's just hard to be around others in the same way as I was back home. And I am in need of a moment of clarity and guidance right now, which is why I find myself alone.
Raises his finger to ask something. Takes piece of paper. Right. I'm out of questions, but if you're willing to talk, more than willing to listen and to keep you company. After I deliver this, I should be off for the night. So, if you wish to have a little bit of company and maybe talk Nah, about anything.
I write down and I underscore it. I will write with you tonight. But yes, you can join me at the fire tonight should you wish to.
Mm-hmm.
Please take care of yourself as you deliver the letters. I will see you soon. Just like a little smiley face at the end, and I hand a piece of paper to you.
Mm-hmm. Looks at the smiley face. You see her tilt the paper a little bit. Chuckles. Shoots you a wink, and she'll gather her stuff and say, well, writes on the piece of paper, I'll see you later. And then she'll fuck off because she needs to go to the Moss House.
Needs to
Go to the Moss
serve.
House.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She needs to serve.
Yo.
Moss House? More like the Boss House. Ew. Can I try and contact my god again? Or was that like my one chance?
For tonight, that is your one chance. I am sorry.
Got it. Yeah, absolutely, for sure. I think just sort of sitting back, contemplating the conversation and the game of chess that he's just had with this woman that he's barely met, but has seemed more friendly than most of the other people that he's been talking with for the last couple of hours.
Get fucked, you fucking schmucks.
Just kind of.
Wow, Morgana's been really nice to him.
Her first, her first request to him was like, "Can you teach me this?" Like that. It was like demanding something from him, like as the first thing. But yeah.
I mean, she hasn't insulted him yet.
Anyway, cut over to
Sorry.
Farion, who got up from dinner. I don't know why.
Oh yeah. He's eating ligaments.
Oh, that's
Oh,
all.
for the love of.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, not all of it. That's not the only thing that he's doing. He is actually. I don't know why he's there. He's like supposed to be further back. There we go. He is actually going to try and contact his mama.
Okay.
His mummy. You don't need to open this up. He's not going to go in there. But I mean, fair enough.
Oh, I thought you were. That's my bad.
Oh no. He's just going back here behind the building, behind the bushes.
Oh, this mom.
Yeah. It's like the fucking Skype voice call.
Your mom shows up in front of you.
Jesus. Oh. Hi, Mom.
Oh my. Let me get my voice. I don't remember. Oh, my dearest Farion. I don't remember how her voice went. Does anyone remember?
She's a real housewife. She's a real housewife.
I know
of
that.
the bog. She just speaks like a Cali woman.
Oh, my dearest Farion, it's good to see you back. Like, I haven't seen you in practically years, it feels like, even though it's only been 2 days. She pinches your cheek.
Yeah. It feels like it's been a long while, Mother.
How are the normies treating you?
I've been having to eat a lot of salad, which is strange.
Just dump some human skin flakes on top of it. It'll make it taste better.
I can't really do that here. In that case, I'll literally get hanged and I'll die. I must admit that I do not feel particularly comfortable amongst these other people.
It's only a temporary arrangement.
Just sort of like, yeah, he sort of considers that for a moment and just like full of like dejectedness and like an actual sorrow. He's like, can I come home instead? It feels like a waste of time being here, and my frustrations with how things are going only seem to be growing. I find myself using all of my political acumen just to make it through the day, just to ensure that I don't say anything that'll get me violently killed. I would prefer to be back with you and the others.
Listen, I believe that you can do this. Your mother raised you to be able to handle the challenges, and we don't want this world to end either, because then whose fingers are we gonna eat? Whose fingers am I gonna deep fry on a Saturday evening's barbecue? Valar evening, sorry, I gotta remember my own weekdays. You gotta think about the costs it would incur to us and our culture. No,
We're gonna lose our cookout, Farion.
I've got a plan, Saracen. Eating 50 million human fingers.
Now we're going to Tahiti.
I mean, this is what they would say, because, like, why would
it's just
I got a plan.
it's just the fact of going Farion. You know, you gotta stay with it. The world's ending. We'll lose our barbecues. The two main things.
50 million fingers, we're heading to Kalia, Farion.
my dear boy.
Why are you turning Texan?
I don't know what's happening. I don't know. I'm trying my best. Just roll with it.
More and more southern.
Anyways.
Yeah, please. Go
Also,
ahead.
it's what Asmodeus would want. You need to show him how strong you are, so that you can one day become a great devil, like your mama.
I don't want to be a devil.
He did not just say that.
Gas. Oh, okay. Does he say anything else? Because I don't know. She has no response to that statement. She's gonna stare at you, confused.
You make mom cry.
Mom, I love you. I really do. But I want more from life than just sitting in the hells. I want to be, I don't know, a painter, a tyrant, I don't know. Maybe a professional cook. There are so many things that I'd like to explore, but
you can do all those things in the hells. She kind of squints.
Yes, but it's the hells only has so much to offer. The material plane, the prime material which we're on, is so full of delights. So many different types of beings to consume.
Then you need to work hard to make sure that you can keep it. I may have always wished for you to follow in my footsteps, but I ain't gonna demand that from you. You do what you need to do, my adoptive son. You know just my son. If I had a son, he would have been just like you, because that's who you are. In my heart. You are my
Mom,
son.
you already have a son. It's me. And I just sort of give her a hug.
Yeah, she hugs you back. Now, get the fuck back in there and teach them some ways of the hags. Don't let them step all over you or get to you. You want to eat some damn ligaments? Eat those damn ligaments.
Speaking of ligaments, do you have another bag? I'm kind of almost already out.
She just hands you a bag of holding.
You have a little baggie of fingers.
Apparently.
I'm smoking that liggy.
She hands you a bag full of decapitated human fingers. Well, humanoid fingers that have been deep fried.
Yeah.
You fried them? Oh, wonderful. Thank you
I
so
didn't
much.
just fried them. I fried them in only the finest oil that you can find from Abisharn itself.
I heard some talk about if you mix like blood from someone from Song Yin into it, it'll give like some extra spice kick to it. Try that next time.
She winks at
For
you.
real.
I already did.
Wonderful. All right. Well, I guess I've got to get back. Please, take care of yourself. Mom. I love
Susan
you.
wants to know how her daughter's doing.
Morgana's doing fine. She's, well, as far as I can tell anyway, she hasn't been exactly forthcoming with her opinions, and it seems to me of late that she's sort of been having an issue with me. I'm not really sure why. She's been acting strange, and it saddens me to a certain degree, I suppose.
What about the freaky one that's a zombie? I'm sorry, that child just freaks me out.
Hey, fuck you, Karen.
Denise!
Hey,
Get her
fuck
name.
you, Denise.
Your mom's Karen.
Yeah, that's right. Fuck you, Denise.
hey, Mom, don't talk bad about Bagwell. He is, although he does not show any emotions, I still consider him a good friend of mine.
All right. Well,
I don't want you to talk bad about him, and tell his mom as well that he's doing fine, and he probably misses her as well.
she pats you on the shoulder, and you see genuine emotion on this hag's face as she says, "Go get him."
Yeah, just like smile, hug, and begins walking away. Just sort of a little depressed, but more determined now.
We go snooze.
I sleep.
Well, no, first what happens is Palmithus knocks at the door with fake tax papers. I don't know what she's doing.
I'm coming.
Don't worry about it.
Coming.
There is tax audit. Damn moss.
Hey, shut the fuck up. Opens the door. What? You?
Hi.
Why are you here? Yo, what's up? What's poppin'?
So is there a dead moss in the building at the moment? I have some news for him.
Damn,
Yo.
so happy-go-lucky. Yeah, here's your audit.
Sure. What's it about? Let me go get him for you.
Yeah, if you just bring him here, that'd be fine.
He's not getting arrested, is he?
No, not unless he chooses to keep doing what he's doing.
Oh, okay.
He'll understand. Don't worry about it.
Yo, damn.
I'm IRL sweating, what the fuck?
Yo,
As the
damn.
DM, I'm confused as well, but we'll see what's what happens.
What is it, Gil? Who's at the door?
You've got a guest that's threatening you with arrest if you continue doing whatever it is you've been doing.
Under what circumstances? Farron says as he stands up from his chair.
I don't fucking know, but Dad, you gotta come here.
I just furrow my brow and just walk around the table. I can't move myself.
I'll move you.
I didn't know you were a criminal, damn.
Yeah, Gilroy comes as you've gotten to him like, yo, damn, what the fuck have you been
As
doing?
I walk past you, just, well, I didn't know either, I believe. Hang on,
Yes,
I'm gonna
the-
reload to try and be able to move myself.
I've moved you. Heads down.
Thanks.
Here he is. What's up?
Ah, hello, you were at the gates.
Yep. Pleasure to see you again.
What appears to be the issue?
Yep, just takes out a few envelopes. It's just a mail call. I was kidding about the whole arrest thing. It looks like it was taken very seriously.
Well, a lot of us were almost jailed when we were at the gate, so why wouldn't we?
I know it was bad joke. I'll admit.
Having no context for this other than what Gilrock said, I'm just like confusedly glancing back and forth and just reach out for the envelopes.
So you're back in town. That's great.
He's never been here before.
Yes,
No, I thought you
haven't
lived here.
been
You
here.
fucking live here, don't you? Out of character. Don't you live here?
No, my wife does.
His girlfriend, possibly future wife, depending on what happens.
Yeah.
His
so
name
just-
is on the house, but he hasn't lived here before.
Okay, yeah. So it's a reasonable statement for her to make still.
Mhm.
What brought you away for so long? I only remember seeing your wife here. And the
Yes,
big
I've
snake.
been away for a good few years. Finally made it back.
Mhm.
I glanced down at the letters. What do I see on the front?
Yep, it's just your typical mail.
Actually, no, it isn't. One of the letters has has a purple wax seal on it.
Anthrax, watch out.
Do I recognize this seal?
Yeah, you would. It's House Ventress.
Okie dokie. I
Adventure Bruce.
just glanced at it for a second. None of these are actually addressed to me, are they?
It is addressed to Vaness and Studious, and it is
Yeah, I thought
from
so.
Lord Zarin Tiberius III.
A deeply furrowed brow, but don't mention anything at the door.
Yeah, sorry about that, Show Whisper. But it's nice to actually meet you.
I absent-mindedly reach out for a handshake while still looking at the envelopes.
I also roll me a luck check to see if there's something else interesting in there.
Oh, okay, alright, why not? Let's have a look. That'll be a 46.
You were receiving a new passport, a new copy, because the ministry has decided that, since they found out you're alive again and no longer, presumed dead, you're getting a new certificate of being alive and a citizen.
Oh, wonderful.
Fresh and beautiful.
I'm no longer dead.
Yo, for real? Looks at it. Damn, it's true. You're not dead.
Yes, officially now.
High five.
Well, I give you a high five as I turn back to the door. Thank you very much for delivering the mail.
Yeah, when it comes to people being unalived or re-alived, it's kind of a big deal. I need to kind of do a little visual verification here.
Oh, yes, I suppose there's a lot of paperwork to do with that.
Does this happen a lot? People dying and not being dead?
In a world where resurrection exists, yes.
Well,
this happens.
So the issue here is he was captured as a child as a slave. I put in the paperwork when we met him, and it appears to have finally gone through.
Sick.
I just mentally run through the amount of months that we've known each other and realize how slow it was. Oh wow.
Well, thank you for coming.
Oh, by the way,
He starts closing the door.
Yep, foot in door. By the way,
Hmm?
there is a sitter in your front lawn. Just figured I'd let you know.
Oh,
That's
is he
Rook.
wearing a ornamental mask?
It's probably
Yeah.
just Rook.
Oh yes,
He's
no
really
worries,
nice.
we know
He's
about
also
that.
pretty bad at chess.
You haven't happened to have seen a green owl anywhere, have you?
Yeah, he was feeding it a rat.
Oh, lovely. Olivia's made a friend.
Yeah, he's fine. He can just he likes to sleep in a tent.
He killed an animal on Deva property.
No, feeding it to the owl is technically the owl who killed it.
Baron snorts a bit. His tail
I turn and look at
wiping
Farron.
against the ground.
I will ask why that's an issue later.
You would know why
Well,
it's
You
an
can't-
issue in most of...
It's
yeah.
illegal to kill animals in this country, Jai.
Oh yeah.
Why everyone's a vegetarian.
Except the vampires. They are only allowed to eat
Yeah.
fish, remember?
Yeah. That's been relevant. Well, thanks for the message. He's good. Lovely to see you again. Sick for not arresting us.
Uh-huh.
Yes,
Yep,
I'm
sorry
glad it's
for
not
her-
something like a tax audit. That would be quite annoying.
That comes tomorrow. But
What?
sorry for the sorry for the entrance at the gate there. That she's a bitch through and through. So
Oh, it's all right. Doing your jobs and all that, and I'll get a good fight out of it soon. So no worries.
I don't know why you want to fight her. She literally cheats. She literally puts people in the worst positions to fight her.
I'm quite sure that I'll most likely get absolutely bodied, I think the phrase is, glancing at Gilrock. But I'll at least do my best to put up a fight.
Where do these phrases that you come up with, Gilrock, come from? You are just such a regular wordsmith.
Bodied? Oh, you see. Let me tell you, I started leading fair and away. There's this you remember my power? I've been doing it a bit during the night when Dam sleeps. There's this crazy place called LA.
As you walk out my earshot and keep telling him about all of these things, I just turn back. Well, if there's nothing else, thank you very much.
Oh, actually, there is something else. So that you're alone. Just kind of lean in a little bit. When you were entering the city, what did you have on you?
Well, quite a few things. Why?
Something perked up as particularly possibly a threat? Is the real reason why I'm here? Just don't want to do this in front of the others.
Well, I do possess a few magical items. Could you be a little more specific?
Well, that's the thing. I don't quite know what it is, but it practices as an unknown magical thing. And yeah, so if you just don't mind, like, I don't want to get super touchy or personal or anything like that. Just anything that isn't like, you know, a weapon that is magically infused or something like that. Anything like that happen to be on you?
I possess a few magical items to augment my abilities. A displacement cloak that you can see currently. I have my sickle. This amulet I wear. I don't pull out the lightning bolt section. I just point to the bit that you can see around my neck. And I do have a magical tattoo, but other than that,
And a soul
nothing.
coin.
Yeah, but I'm not mentioning that one.
Okay.
Ahaha.
Other than that, and a usual bag of holding, nothing comes to mind.
Deception, because that's a lie, because you have a soul coin.
Well, no, because the thing is, he said magical items that could be a threat.
Oh,
so
fair
honestly,
enough.
doesn't factor in my mind as that.
Not really a threat, anyways.
It's a coin.
Yeah.
It is way more than a
Possibly.
coin, but that's okay.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Oh, and I do also have a necklace of fireballs somewhere, but it's in one of the pockets in the cloak.
Okay. Let me think. You know, the only thing I don't recognize is an amulet. I think that might have been it. What is that exactly?
Oh, well, it has lightning properties. I'm able to cast some spells from it.
Oh.
And I'm not sure exactly how it works. It seems to have not done anything recently, but at one point I could use something similar to haste for a very short duration. But, I can't quite seem to get it to do it again, so I'm unsure myself.
Maybe give it some time, maybe? Anyway, well, I'm just going to assume that was it, and you're not trying to smuggle something illegal into the city. So, gives you a thumbs up. All right.
I return the thumbs up.
I'll leave you alone.
Wonderful. Well, have a lovely evening.
Yep, sorry about that. Just, job thing. Yep, you take care of yourself.
I
Be
just
seeing
give,
you
like,
later.
a smile,
And
nod, and a
while-
wave as I close the door.
Oh, are you going to the archery thing tomorrow?
God.
I catch the door just as it goes to shut. It closes on my hand, but luckily it's the metal hand, and I just open the door again.
Let's
Oh,
go.
There is an archery competition. I don't believe I am. No, I unfortunately have other things to attend to.
Ah, that's a shame. All right, well, I was gonna be there. All right, well, I'll see you next time then.
Best of luck. And I
Bye.
really slowly close the door this time.
Girly ass wave as I walk away.
As you walk away, you hear in your head, "So, no coin yet?"
Not necessarily.
At least you're
He's
getting
just not willing to admit it.
you're getting him to trust you. That's positive.
I turn round and see Gilrock at the end of the hall and just mutter under my breath, well, definitely don't trust that one. And just walk back towards the main hall.
You hear as you come into the hallway. You see, and it's so crazy. People told me there's something called like an influencer. I thought it was something like some
Gilly,
magical
Gilly,
yeah.
Gilly, he's not
Influence.
listening. The flame's burning too brightly. You can see the smoke. It's ruining his mind.
Oh
No, Farron's just
think
frantically writing this down. All of this information about
Yo, Dab,
human
come here.
culture.
Dab, I gotta tell you. Remember, you know when you sleep. That's
Yes.
a weird way to start a sentence, but when you sleep,
Go ahead.
when you sleep, I can do my thing, right? And I'm not allowed to bring people anymore because it tears the fabric of reality or whatever. But I've been going somewhere, and you probably picked up in it at some point that I use these sort of weird words. It's just I found them in this world that I went. That one time we went to that place with all the lights, and that lady screamed at us in the alley.
Yes.
Yeah. It's called L.A. It means Los Angeles, and it's like
strange, weird.
yeah,
name.
it's called the City of Angels. So I thought I entered like heaven, but it's just a bunch of people that have like weird orange skin that they spray on, and it's real fucking weird, guy. And it's so, but they have all these words, and they also have this. Jai, I need you to make a DC 22 with save.
Oh, for fuck's sake! As just before you do whatever you're doing, just like. City of
What are you
Angels
about
sounds
to
terribly
do?
pretentious.
Don't worry about it. Please fail
Okay,
it.
wisdom save. Oh,
Please fail it.
20.
Yeah, you fail it. So you do this thing. Hit the gritty.
Oh my god.
And I use Otto's irresistible dance to make Joe get sturdy with it. You can tell me how.
God.
You can tell me how he reacts to that.
Like a
Farron,
look of utter confusion.
Farron looks on as well and says, "That's a hideous dance.
It's called the gritty.
I hate it. Stop it. I don't like looking at this."
As I
mean-
break out of it, just, well, it is somewhat grid-like, I suppose.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
I learned that
but
when I
he
was
showed
over there.
he showed me this dance that I do like. Farron begins doing the Macarena.
Yeah, that one. People do that a lot. This app called Tic Tac. I don't know. It's like this. It's like this magical dimension thing that you can scry on people dancing. I don't know what they do. The humans in
Very
this world are
strange.
very strange.
Yes, indeed.
Humans of the Western continent are very strange already. It doesn't surprise me they're strange in another world. But we need
Yeah.
to be getting to bed shortly, so I will be.
Yeah,
Damn,
just-
I'm not sleeping with you this time, right?
No, I believe I'll be staying with Vaness today.
Just before everyone gets ready to go to bed, Morgana's going to notice that Farion has actually returned to the table, and if allowed, she will place her hand on top of his and just look at him with concern and be like, "Are you okay? Where did you go?"
Oh, I haven't gone anywhere. What are you talking about?
Don't you start that with me, Farion. I mean it. I was worried. You were there one minute and then poofed the next. Most people here noticed you were gone.
What?
God of gaslighting.
Love of. Fine. Don't tell me then.
Farion uses gaslight. You think DC-22 Christmas Day?
Yeah, like you can see on the cheeky grin on his face that like he's just pulling your leg as he goes, "I don't know what you're talking about. I've always been here."
Bagwell, you did.
You
Bagwell,
are annoying.
But Farion, you
Forget
did
it.
leave. Bagwell not understanding sarcasm.
Yeah, Bagwell, your mum sends her love.
Okay.
Oh, so you were talking to whose mother? Because you wouldn't
My
know
mom.
that.
I talked to
Obviously, my mom. He just said she sends her love.
I talked to my mother, who had also talked to your mum and to Bagwell.
See, so you did go somewhere to do something.
I thought that was sort of implied by the fact that I sent you a cheeky grin as I said I haven't gone anywhere.
I don't take sarcasm, you know I don't. Or when you're teasing me. I don't get it.
Can you two make out already and just spare us the rest of whatever this is? Victor
Who says this?
Victor.
Wait, what? Sorry, what?
Lightly, Victor, I say this with full respect. Mind your own business.
I think I choked on something.
I want to be clear. Did you just say that to the Dark Fae Prince of Wildfires?
He's been explicitly told. Will I will remind you that Gillick will disown him if he starts fucking around.
True.
Yeah, he says with full respect, my lord, mind your business. This is not for you to interfere in.
You see two fire. His eyes actually light up with fire as he just walks out when you say that, but he does not do anything.
Oh dear. Now look what you've done.
If I'm dead today or dead tomorrow, it doesn't really matter.
No, because your mother will just bring you back. I know.
It's not really about that, is it? It's more about the fact that no one really seems to want to speak up against him except his own grandson. And frankly, I find the way that he talks and carries himself to be quite disrespectful and quite rude to more or less everyone that we come into contact with.
That's very true. I mean, with your mother bringing you back from the dead, at least I haven't got to worry about ever losing you. Kinda.
If I die, I'm probably staying in the house. I will
Oh, for
admit.
goodness sake. Mother's boy.
No, just I want to see something new, and if that requires me traveling back to the Hells, so be it. But for now, I'm here, so let's make the most of it. And I'm actually just going to grab your wrist and drag you upstairs.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Hey, you know. Yo, fairy on your back.
I'm sorry, what?
I mean, you'll have to walk through the main
Yeah,
hall.
you have to walk through the
So
main
we
hall.
all see you,
absolutely.
and so Gil just goes, "Oh, fair in your back," as you just kind of rush off.
As you steam past, there's a silence magic on the doorknob. Twist it twice to the left.
put a sock
Oh
on
my
it.
god.
Yeah, just like quiet and not acknowledgement in your head as just like continues walking without saying anything.
Great.
Victor taps you on the shoulder, Gilrock.
Oh,
Gently.
what's up, pops? poppin'?
Therion just insulted me. Can I immolate him?
No.
Can I
You
can I
you
scratch him with my claws?
You could tell him, "Hey, I found that." Well, I mean, what did he say and what did you say?
Oh, I just told them to do exactly what they're doing currently, which is going upstairs and making out, presumably. And he
Well,
told me
then-
to mind my own business, telling
Well,
me, a Dark Lord
that
of the
ends
Fae,
well.
to mind my business. My business is everyone's business.
Well, all's well that ends well. They did what you told them to, kinda. So didn't he technically listen to you? Maybe he's just a little rebellious in the way of his, adoring of your presence. So he took what you said to heart, but he wanted to look good in front of his woman, and not like one who follows orders. Maybe something like that.
Well, regardless, I am trying to be on my best behavior.
You're doing great, Pops. I'm real proud of you.
Baron just awkwardly shuffles his feet. Alright, I'm going to bed. Have a good night. Thank you, Gilrock. I will be writing more information that you gave me down. I really appreciate it.
I'll show you some more dance moves. Me and I'm gonna hit the sheets as well because I got training to do tomorrow with my old man. So let's see if we can find our rooms, Pops. Let's go. It seems the tiny guy wants to say something to Damp. I don't know if you've noticed, John.
My
Bagwell has just kind of like
my fellow Fey creature. He is very cute, isn't he? Victor patronizingly pats Bagwell's head.
Bagwell looks up at him and goes. He just kind of like cocks his head a little bit to the side. I guess.
Alright, y'all head upstairs. Zudius is cleaning right now.
Pulls on arm of shirt to Dampy.
I just wave Gilrock goodbye and turn down to look at him. Yes, Bagwell?
Where do I work on your arm?
Right.
And when? Because you told me to do it, but we'd kind of teleported. And now we're here, and I don't see a workshop. I need a place where I can light fires.
I will find out for you right now. Zudius?
Yes?
I was just wondering, do you have a good place for setting up a fire for refining? Young Bagwell here is quite adept and needs to work on my arm.
Goes over to him. Do you have a room that can... do you know magic, like how it works?
Of course I do.
Well, you know the fireball spell?
Yes?
Do you know a room that could survive if an hypothetical fireball spell was to happen in said room?
Oh, please do not put off a fireball in my home. I would appreciate it.
I did. I was speaking in Squints' eyes. An abstract meaning. I'm gonna fix his arm and he wanted me to put in a thing. And I don't know if a person with, low intelligence can get it, but when you try to make a thing that has the magic power of certain things, it can sometimes explode.
Unfortunately, I am not a smith, neither is my daughter, and so no, there are no rooms here where you would be able to find such a forge.
Gives it a thunk.
Why don't you just visit the forge in the upper districts tomorrow? I'm sure I can pay name Zahir enough money in order to do whatever you wish.
Do I need papers for that?
I don't quite understand what you are. Are you a dwarf who happened to never undergo a dwarf growth spurt?
Bag will just kind of, and then you can see it for you. He just kind of looks around. And he goes, you see him press a little thing at the back of his plague doctor mask helmet, and it lets out like a small steam as you see like some wiring and stuff kind of detach. He takes the mask off, and just a fuck ton of really shaggy, like gross looking green hair falls around to his sort of very, very white but with a hint of purple skin. Like there's no coloration to his lips, anything. His eyes are kind of glassy. And he goes, "My mom's a hag."
Not in whiz. He needs to make a whiz save. He screams audibly.
Bagwell just kind of nods to himself, like, "Yeah, that usually happens," and then he just sort of wraps his head back in a little small bun and puts his mask back on.
I facepalm slightly and give Bagwell a tap on the shoulder and just say to Sidious,
Tongla comes out with fangs bared with two swords in his hands. Who's intruding?
"Oh, don't worry, Sidious just got a scare is all."
Vaness is also out with a staff, ready to fight. Does Elmara come out as well? Or does anything?
Sure, she'll walk out, expecting nothing, because it's always been nothing.
It's always... Fair enough. Yeah, it's nothing.
Sudi's looking scared in front of this child.
Yes, it's...
Is there something going on out here? No one's dead.
Everyone's alright. Everyone's alright. I was a bit frightened, is all. Sorry. We're causing a concern.
Right.
You were scared of this child? Ty points at Bagwell.
It's okay. It usually happens. Which is why I usually, keep the suit on, because people seem to be off-put by my appearance.
Fair enough.
Well, just walk around comfortably. The others can deal with it.
I don't like being looked at, and people tend to look.
Would you like a cloak of invisibility?
I can make one. It's fine.
I'll
wear my suit.
We do not allow invisibility in this house, Douglas says, as the senior head of the guard. There are charms against it.
Oh, well, there you go. Okay, I was going to ask, could you not detect him if he was invisible? And then I was going to question your security, but that kind of answers it all. But still, for the sake of your guest being comfortable, perhaps a slight allowance?
I'm fine. It's okay.
He may take off his mask. Master Sudius was merely scared.
Do I need to take off my mask?
If you don't want to, you aren't required to.
It's okay. I'm used to having the mask on. It's just after what I was.
I sincerely apologize. I wasn't trying to offend anyone, Sudius says.
I'm not offended. Again, like I said, most people are off-put by my appearance. It has come to a fact that I am off-putting.
Well, Sudius, if you could arrange that for tomorrow, that would be perfect. And both you and Vanessa, dear, we were given a delivery of letters. It's addressed to you two, so I would assume it's best for you to see it.
Oh, of course. May I... He pauses as he stares at the letter in your hand.
I just go to hand it over and just, like, gauge his expression.
Sadness. His hand is shaking, but he successfully grabs it from you. Vanessa, it's from your father. He begins walking over silently. Can we perhaps read it tomorrow? Whatever it is, it's his last words before he died. Are you sure you want to wait? She looks at you, Damp Moss, with like a mixture of... This time a bit of anger, you can see it in her face.
To her initial expression, I give a slight smile, and as I recognize the anger, I just drop the smile but nod in understanding.
It's tinged with her romantic feelings for you. You may
take as long as you need.
Walks over to you and lays her head on your chest, gently punching you in the arm as she begins crying.
I wrap my wings around.
I wish he could have been a better person. I wish you didn't have to kill him.
I didn't say anything, I just stroke her hair.
But I miss him so much. I miss him so much already. She just hugs you as tight as she possibly can.
I return it.
Yeah, you can see Sudius frowning himself as he tries to wipe away tears from the edge of his eyes. I will read this tomorrow.
Iroh goes up and kicks you in the shin.
I look over my wing down at him.
It's not like hard, just like a little. Looks at Vaness. I don't know what this is, but takes out a little notebook. What do you want in the arm? Wait, firstly, what's your... You do magic. Yes.
Vanessa's gonna get pissed here in a second as you start doing...
I turn and see the note and it rapidly realize what's about to happen, and Bagel just hears in his head, if you don't mind, can we discuss this on the way to the forge tomorrow? It might be a better time. I'll have slightly clearer thoughts on what I want.
Yes, out loud. Okay. I thought you... Okay. He just kind of goes over to Big Eye. Where do I sleep?
Do you want to sleep downstairs or upstairs?
I don't care.
Well, you're small. You can sleep in the recliner in the living room.
Okay.
You'll have a nice fire. Beautiful room.
I don't get cold. Goes to sleep.
He just auto sits down and just falls asleep immediately.
Bagwell fully can just turn himself off. So he just kind of sits down and just... And he sleeps like the dead. Like, he lies completely still and doesn't make a single sound.
If his mask wasn't on, his eyes are open.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, Vaness leans onto your cloak of moss and says, I know you did what you had to do. But I tell you something.
course.
I was gonna wait for longer after we saw each other again to do this, but I want you to marry me.
A look of momentary shock that gets washed away by just joy. I honestly thought that I would be the one to ask, but yes, of course.
And if Sarah comes back, she can be my sister wife as well. I don't care. You and I are meant to be together.
I go to dip her into a kiss and assume she does it to me instead.
Yes. He dipped you so hard your head hits the back of the floor.
My hat just falls off and rolls away.
Yeah, Iskorial claps a little bit. Changla gives a wan smile. You can detect a hint of bitterness behind his eyes.
Mm-hmm.
But he does clap for you. Veitara just looks fucking lost. She will creep around Ty and begin walking upstairs.
As I stand back up, I just gust the hat back into my hand and put it on.
Whoa! Ty goes, whoa, 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 whoa. Our boy, yes! Let's go! Let's fucking go! He comes and walks around you in a circle.
I just grin at him. Just...
He claps you on the shoulder. Everyone's getting married. Now we gotta get Gilrock and Veitara married before, well, we're gonna win this. We're gonna win this shit. World ain't gonna end on my watch. And then when Babor's back, we gotta get them married. I got a lot of weddings to plan. I'll be back. He begins sprinting away.
I've already stopped listening to him and I'm just staring into her eyes.
She draws her fingers across your hand and says, "You want to join me tonight, or what do you need? You said you needed to talk to your god." And he is...
can wait.
I give her a wide smile. Oh, well, actually, I was going to be working on my wood, but I suppose you can do that for me.
Fuck you, John.
Hey, the joke. I literally have divine wood.
Yeah,
It's the joke.
Yes.
I heard it coming before you said. I was like, no.
That was pretty good. I'll give you that one.
After like 10 seconds, you hear from upstairs. He what? He doesn't come down though. He'll let you be excited about it tomorrow. You hear Gilrock shout from upstairs.
Elmara also goes to sleep in the living room, I guess.
She goes to relax, not to sleep.
Oh, okay.
Does she do anything? Does she do anything about the very still-looking, almost dead-looking guy sitting in the chair? Just a tiny guy, just
Yeah.
just
So
chilling.
I guess she'll look at Moss and say, "You ready for tomorrow?"
Well, as ready as I will be, though.
Oh, fuck that Moss. I said the wrong game.
Bagwell, my guy.
Bagwell. Yeah, too many
Yeah.
fucking characters. This is why I won't separate them.
Exactly. Bagwell.
Look at Bagwell. You ready for tomorrow?
His head just kind of like tilts. Yeah. I'm just shooting stuff, right?
Yes, you're shooting specific targets. Yes.
Okay. Are you sleeping here too?
I don't plan on it, but it's the chair I found, so I'm gonna relax.
Okay.
You don't mind if I take off the armor?
He's already fallen asleep. He just doesn't respond and sits completely still.
He just dies in the chair.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mara will walk up and check for a pulse.
He has none.
Yeah, he's undead.
He doesn't
she
have a
wouldn't know
pulse.
that.
He doesn't have a pulse.
Yeah.
Divine sense. Paka's undead. Doesn't fucking care. Go back to his chair. After taking off armor.
Yeah.
All right.
This bitch.
Well, we are gonna take our 10-minute break now. We will be back at 8:50 Brisbane time. So BRB, everyone. I am going to be doing a new thing just because of uploading to YouTube to make it easier for everyone who watches the VODs. I am going to end the stream, but we will be back exactly in 10 minutes. So that way we're not dealing with the whole 5 hours and it's cut into more manageable pieces.
Augers.
Thank you.
Word.
BRB.
Word.